Get ready to be in a sticky situation, because today we review Together, starring Alison, Brie, and Dave Franco.
Is this a metal thing?
Yes. Little taste.
David, what is this?
It's pretty thick.
Great.
I have to kill a lot of people! Just tell me what you want me to fuck!
I have big tits and a tiny vagina.
Oil me up, Daddy.
I can't believe that Bryce prefers big tits.
Mistletoe alert.
This is backcountry.
This guy was a real jerk.
How long can Hugo be pregnant?
Chomp, 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 chomp.
Oh, you're such a dick, David.
Okay, everybody, put on your corpse handling gloves.
Ew.
Hoodie Picasso.
Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk. I'm Bryce Hanson, the host with the most. And with me is Max Allen, the host with the slightly less. Today we won't be having Sydney because he is out riding rides in Disneyland
I think.
and
I don't
Universal Studios and stuff. Yeah, so every week we review a single horror movie. New theatrical releases get priority. We also review older horror movies, both good and horrible. Make sure you follow us on all the places. It helps us out if you review and subscribe on iTunes. The full video of the episode is available on YouTube. Don't be a square. Be sure to share with your friends. Also check out our Patreon at patreon.com/horrormovietalk, where we have ungodly amounts of bonus content that you can check out at several different tiers. You can even influence what movie we review each month. If you want to talk to us or be involved in the community, go to horrormovietalk.com for all our social links, or just call 682-253-4468 and leave us a voicemail, and maybe you'll hear your own voice on a future episode of Horror Movie Talk. Today, we're reviewing new release Together. That's the name of the movie, Together. We're also going to be reviewing it together, me and Max.
We should do like every other word of the review.
We should, yeah. Here, wheel.
Wait, where are we? Hold on, we got it started in the right place. Where are we?
We're under We've Got a Great Show.
Why can't I find it?
It's on page 1, bottom of page 1. We've got a great show today.
Okay. Good,
wheel.
good. Start.
Out.
Giving. Brief.
Review.
And.
Our.
Score.
For.
The.
Movie.
We.
Score.
On.
A.
Scale.
Of.
1.
2.
10. This is dumb. This is not as funny as I thought
After
it
we
would
give our
be.
score, we'll get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. Later on, I got a game or something, I don't know what to call it, called Together or Not Together, where we pit Max's movie knowledge against no one else.
Against myself.
See if you can remember if the couples in the movie are married or not at the time of filming.
You know, my movie knowledge is slowly but gradually going up. This week I watched Mulholland Drive for the first time. I watched The Elephant Man for the first time. So look at me. I'm putting in the work for you guys so you can stop making fun of me every single episode.
Nice. What did you actually finish Mulholland Drive?
Okay, technically I still have about a half hour to finish Mulholland Drive. It's a long movie. And I keep getting tired and falling asleep.
Okay. So Together can be found in theaters now. It's about a long-time unmarried couple, Tim and Millie, following them as they move to a rural town to follow a job opportunity for Millie. Tim leaves behind his circle of friends and his stalled career as a performing musician behind in the city. The stress of the move, sexual troubles, and recent trauma put a strain on their relationship, but they remain committed to each other. When they go on a hike near their house, marked by bells, they stumble into a sunken cave. After drinking from the pool of water in the cave, Tim and Millie get into a sticky situation, and Tim begins to compulsively follow Millie around town. If you've seen the trailer of the movie, you get the basic premise. Parts of their bodies get stuck together, and they find it hard to separate. But instead of treating it like a 80s sitcom plot, it's used as a foil for body horror. Get that. It's an interesting premise that's ripe for meta relationship commentary, and I was interested where they would go with it. However, in the end, they don't really do much with the opportunity to explore the theme of codependence and the loss of identity that can come from a long-term relationship. Part of the problem is that the script keeps the relationship in the center of the movie in a weird limbo state where it's not quite headed towards separation or marriage. Others might disagree, but I think choosing one or the other early on in the plot has a lot more potential for satire and commentary. I didn't feel like there was any real stakes or an emotional core to the film as a result. The scenes of them getting stuck together feel arbitrary and progress predictably, but don't seem to have a lot of emotional impact because of that. The majority of these situations are shown in the trailer, so there isn't much of a surprise when they come. The only thing that you get are a couple shots that directly look at the merged body parts. I wish they would have gone harder and done some more extreme and creative body horror throughout, but they leave the majority for the film's climax. In the end, it's not enough to save the lack of an emotional core or a strong direction in the plot. And especially with recent body horror bangers like The Substance and The Ugly Stepsister, this feels like an undercooked entry into the subgenre in comparison. I had high hopes. I've liked a previous, I guess there hasn't been many, but there was a previous movie that they did together that I really liked about an Airbnb. I can't even actually remember what it's called. It's on Netflix. But this one kind of was really mid for me. I give it a score out of 5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt really similar. And I was really excited for this one too. But it turns out that they started with a really strong premise and a really good idea. And they kind of, I think sometimes they just think that that's going to be enough, and they make that, the whole thing. And it just isn't enough. Like, the characters were really boring. You don't really get to know either of the characters all that well, or their motivations or anything. Like, that they are having trouble, but they still love each other. And that's kind of it.
Yeah.
So
not really strong personalities. Like with the premise of like them moving to follow Millie, she doesn't have like a really strong or overbearing personality, really, which would have like added to it. And Tim is just kind of like flailing, but doesn't really have a strong reaction. So yeah, it's just kind of like.
And Tim is kind of a little baby man because he's got a sweet gig. I mean, he stays at home and writes music. And also there's a touring band on a label that wants him to come tour with them. Like, what more could you want from a musician? Like, that's the dream. But he's still upset about it. So I just didn't, like you said, there wasn't a lot of emotion or like themes being played out, even though they kind of want you to think it's about codependence. It doesn't really end up being about codependence any more than like a little bit. I don't know what more to say about it. It's like they kind of touch on it, and then it's more just the body horror. And I think that sometimes the body horror looks good, and sometimes it actually looks kind of bad. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 because I do think the premise is strong, although spoilers, I think that they might have stole the premise and they're being hit with a lawsuit right now because apparently there was a very similar movie that came out 2 years ago. So,
Well, I think that I read details of the lawsuit that they were presented with like this script, and then they said, no, we're not interested. But then they like took the concept and gave it to the writers that were at the same agency and like rewrote it, but like supposedly, allegedly stole most of the major plot points.
yeah, well, I was going to see if I can watch at least like the trailer or something for that other movie, but it's kind of hard to find. I mean, I didn't, it's obviously not a super popular movie.
Yeah.
It was an
I didn't know
indie
they
film.
actually made it. I thought it was just,
It said 2023, so I assumed something came out. Maybe it was just a short film or something, but
yeah, well, I mean, that happens a lot, you know, who knows, you know, it's just as likely that it has nothing to do with that script as it does that they stole it. That happens a lot in Hollywood, I think. But yeah, I mean, I think what they tried to do with like the relationship and the, you know, core of the movie was they tried to be too subtle with it. And it just doesn't work because there's not really a strong message. There are some like good things in it where it makes the relationship feel real and the situation does feel real, but it's not very good fodder for drama. You know, it's not obvious enough, like where it is. It's like, you know, I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but there's like this old book of how to draw the Marvel way. And it's like when you're drawing a punch, you either have to be like full on extended all the way back, or you have to be like extended all the way through to where you're leaning forward after you punched them. The worst part is to like get it while you're punching the person just because it's the least dramatic. And so that's like what this plot feels like. It's not like leaning one way or the other. It's just like, this is the situation. And you're not either saying like the tension of it, of something's about to happen, and you're not seeing the tension of like, oh, this is already on a collision course, or this is already like getting broken up or whatever. So
there's also like no tension because the premise happens and you're like, oh no, we're gonna fuse together, and then they don't do anything to stop it other than like walk away from each other sometimes, but then sometimes they're really close together. So there's no like, how do we solve this? Where do we go? Like, who can help us? It's like, they just are in it and they don't do anything about it.
I guess, there's not a lot of, what would you call it? Agency. There's not a lot of like,
the plot is happening to them.
It's happening to them. Yeah, you're right. And
I do think,
to like the nth degree, because they're literally like being drawn to each other as in gravity. Like they're being dragged independently. They're not even like walking towards each other sometimes. So yeah, it's a little weird. And I think part of the reason why it doesn't really work out very well is that it's a first time feature film director. What's his name? Michael Shanks. This is his first full length movie, and it just feels, you know, not very confident. Like these things could have been easily solved with some choices and like some subtle rewrites of scenes, and yeah, it just doesn't work out for him. So it's unfortunate.
I do think the theme of like losing yourself in a relationship is a really good one, and they could have gone a lot further with it, because I think that that's relatable to a lot of people, and it's something that like everyone wants to figure out.
Yeah.
And so if they had like provided some sort of like figuring it out, I think it would have been really satisfying.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lots of different ways you could have gone with a relationship that would make it more impactful. Like, I think if they were married, it would have even been better. Like, if they said that they were married for a long time and like it was after the series of compromises, and talking about what they left behind as opposed to like this seeming to be kind of the first big compromise that they've made, moving away from the city. Or even like using another like kind of theme they could have explored that they didn't even touch on at all was having kids, where it's like, that's another really ripe theme of like, two becoming one with a baby, it's like, and sometimes that comes when a relationship is kind of feeling stale, or, after you have a baby, you kind of lose some of your identity. They could have explored some of it like that and like have it be satire of the process of becoming a parent and having this new reality. But yeah, it's not really explored. It's like, it's what's in the trailer is pretty much what you get. Like, I was expecting more, and there's just not that much more. It's just the only thing that's revealed more than the trailer is the sequence of those situations that it shows in the trailer and the progression. But yeah. So anyways, it's mid, but I wouldn't say like it's not worth seeing.
It's not bad. It's just not exciting,
Yeah. Yeah. It's just not as good as it could have been. I wouldn't even turn people away from the theater. Like, it's a decent date movie, it'd be interesting to see with a long-term partner, or your wife. So do with that what you may. Like, it's got a great Rotten Tomatoes score. It's like 91% critic score.
About to be 90%, huh?
Yeah. Oh man, if we impacted Rotten Tomatoes by 1%, that'd be fantastic. Man, I realized, I think we mentioned on a previous episode, but Horror Movie Talk is an approved publication for Rotten Tomatoes, so we can actually submit our reviews to Rotten Tomatoes and affect the Rotten Tomato score. We're really letting it go to our heads. But I realized how much more impactful if like we reach out to people for interviews or something to say like, we're a Rotten Tomatoes approved publication. Like that
because then they're like, this guy's thoughts on our movie actually matters. Right.
Yeah. To where like download numbers or like where we were in the charts at some point, it's like, okay, who cares?
Yeah.
But like to say like, yeah, we're a legit podcast because we're listed on Rotten Tomatoes.
Have you submitted any reviews to Rotten
Tomatoes? I have.
Yet?
I've started going through the back catalog. I got through like the first, 10 or 20.
If you want to give me your login so I can do some as well.
Sure.
You'd probably have to walk me through it. We can talk about that later, but
it's really easy. It's literally like just copy and pasting like a sentence from the review and giving a sentiment for it. Anyways, let's move on to the mid-roll. Listen to this commercial. Sucker. Doesn't feel good, does it? Listening to commercials. Yeah, we've just monetized your ears and eyes against your will.
You're a commodity.
Well, take control. Go to patreon.com/horror movie talk and subscribe at the $6.66 tier to get early access to episodes without reviews. We take out the review portion of the episode. Only games. Oops, only games. No, we take out all the ads so you don't have to endure boring ads like this one. Yeah. Also, you can support the show. I'm going to be like blanking out. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Go to our shop at horrormovietalk.com/shop.
Go to shop.
And buy our shit. Also, check out our resident artist, Dustin Goebel. He's a professional artist who fucks hard on Instagram at DGOEBEL00. And, he does commissions. Also, he's got a new project that we are pushing for him. You can find that on Instagram at Forain. That's FORRAEIN. It's a character-driven medieval sci-fi comic that he's illustrating and writing himself. So check that out. He's also got a Patreon at patreon.com/Forain. And he's putting out panels on Instagram and getting early access to that Patreon. So check him out. He's a really talented guy, and he's supported the show, so we want to support him. And go follow. At the very least, just go follow him, his project on Instagram. And after you do that, listen to this commercial. Wow. I didn't even know about that insurance company. Well, guess what? Here's another commercial. This one's probably about a gambling site or something. We have fun here. If you want to leave us a voicemail, call 682-253-4468. And yeah, thanks again for listening. Let's get into spoilers. Spoilers. Okay. I kind of ran out of steam while taking notes for this movie.
Okay.
Just because it's kind of like not a lot happens after
There's
the first
not a lot
half
of
it.
major plot points.
Yeah. Anyways, it starts out with just a search for a missing couple in the wilderness, and a couple dogs fall into this hole and drink from the H.R. Geiger pond.
The stream that makes the frogs gay.
Mm-hmm. It has chemicals in it to make the dogs gay. And it's very The Thing-esque. It starts out with the dogs kind of becoming a weird thing, a la The Thing.
Yeah, I don't like when movies use dogs like this. You know, when I watch humans suffering on the screen, it doesn't affect me because I'm like, they're just having a good old time making a movie. But when I watch dogs, I can't help but feel incredibly depressed.
Well, who's to say that the dogs were suffering? Maybe they liked being merged.
Maybe. It looked pretty grotesque.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is like the start of kind of a weird thing of like, what's the rules with this merger? Like, is it a grotesque monster making thing, or is it just like, well, what it reveals in the end for it? But yeah, what determines whether you become a monster beast or if you just become a merged person?
Androgyny. Yeah. Does it ever really explain why the water does this?
No.
Oh.
Because cult things.
Because it's a cult. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so this movie stars Alison, Brie, and Dave Franco. And if you didn't know, they actually are married. I think they got married back in 2016 or so. I'm going to look up the movie that they did before.
They do have pretty decent chemistry, which I think lends itself to the film. I mean, being married and then starring as a couple, I think makes it easy for them to seem naturally together.
Yeah.
Which is good.
What is it? It's not Somebody I Used to Know, is it? No. Man, what was that? What was that movie that I'm thinking of? The Rental. Okay.
Wait,
back in
I
2020.
saw The Rental.
Yeah, you guys didn't like it. I really liked it. It was like a pretty decent.
Did we review that?
No.
I thought I did like it.
It was way back in 2020. It was yeah, it had Dave Franco in it. I mean, kind of. It had Dan Stevens, Jeremy Allen White. Before he was famous for The Bear. Yeah, it had a good cast, and it was basically an Airbnb horror before The Barbarian. More of a straight ahead slasher. And I thought it was really good. I thought it was a really good psychological thriller. So I was really looking forward to this one. But that one was written and directed by Dave Franco.
Oh.
And this one was not. And I think like that's unfortunate. I wonder what would have happened if Dave Franco would have taken the helm and directed this one. I think he would have done a better job. But yeah, they do have good chemistry. And like I said, there's like a good amount of realism with the relationship. I think there's some subtle stuff that was happening with like the situation, but it was probably a little too subtle for its own good. So, you know, it starts out introducing them in this party with friends. They're like going away party, and their friends are just kind of dicks. Like when you think about it, they've been dating for 10 years, for like a decade, and all their friends are like, "Are you sure about him?" And then his friends are like, whoopsh, whoopsh, whoopsh. Like, yeah, must be nice to be pussy whipped. And so it's like, doesn't seem like they have very good friends, you know?
Well, this is why having a large group of friends is my worst nightmare. I feel very comfortable having nearly all of my friends live several states away from me.
Oh, I see. Why is that?
Because if I were to have a party with all of my friends and they were all surrounding me, I would feel suffocated. I don't want their presence that close to me. Do you give into peer
pressure? Is that it?
I don't know. I haven't been around people in a long time, so I might.
Yeah. So, I mean, what we learned from this party is that they're moving, and it seems like Tim is giving up a lot compared to Millie, because he's like has his whole. He describes like all the people in the room as like basically his family, and he's leaving, and there's allusion to kind of a stalled music career where he's been dropped from a label, and some of his other musician friends are doing a lot better, and they're like, yeah, just kind of dogging on him for like supporting his wife or supporting his longtime girlfriend in this move.
Well, one of them is her brother.
Yeah. And
but I've actually seen that same thing like kind of happen in real life. Like when I was in high school, the band that was producing my music was like starting to take off a little bit. Mm-hmm. And they were getting like calls from record labels that were like record labels that I listened to. Uh-huh. And so they were like having a chance. And then the singer was just like, I think I want to get married and be a dad. And just left, and it screwed the whole thing over, and they crumbled. So
yeah, I mean, it's a pretty realistic thing. And it's like, what's wrong? Your eyes were going weird, like there was some kind of glitch.
What?
Yeah, you're just like, what? Like
that. I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
So what was I going to say? I mean, it's all very realistic. It's like, yeah, if one person doesn't have a job and the other gets a job offer out of the area, of course you're going to go with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it all seems natural. It kind of sets it up for there to be like a lot of friction, but it's treated just very practically and pragmatically for the entire movie. Like almost like there's a little bit of resentment later, but it's not like, it doesn't seem like there's any build up to it. So it feels kind of like arbitrary. The one like super cringe moment is that Millie, Alison Brie's character, proposes to Tim at this party in like the worst way. Like she doesn't even have a ring. She just does like this with her hand.
Yeah, it's cringe.
Like, ugh.
And at first you can tell that he doesn't even know what she's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of saying like, oh, he doesn't want to get married to her, but it feels very situational. Like, oh, you were just like told that you're like compromising your individuality and your career by going, and all of a sudden you're being like confronted with, now commit 100% in front of all these people. And apparently they've never had this conversation. Let this be a lesson to you folks. Don't propose unless you know the answer.
Yeah.
Unless you have had a conversation about proposing.
I get it. Like it takes a little bit of the surprise, mystery, romance out of it to like go in on the decision together, where, you know, I can see where someone would want to be proposed to in a surprising way that's like, I don't know, but like,
yeah,
I went with my
romantic.
wife and she picked out her own ring, and then I proposed to her with that ring, you know, like,
yeah,
I knew she was going to say yes.
Yeah. You go ring shopping. The main thing, like at the very least, the baseline you have to know is, are you on the same page about marriage? If you don't know if you're on the same page, you're not. Like, you're not on the same page. Do not propose. So anyways, it was like an awkward situation, but it's played off as like him just like not knowing how to react, which is fair. And
I think his reaction is totally fair. Like,
right.
he's already depressed at this party. He's surrounded by so many people. There's like so much pressure. And then he gets this bomb dropped on him in a very confusing way. And he's kind of just like, oh, are you doing this right now? Okay, well, I guess yes.
She like hides behind him and like,
yeah.
And everyone's like reacting to it before he is. Like it's set up pretty good in as far as like a cringe proposal, but anyways, then they move to their new house, and things seem to be going well, but then it's kind of revealed that there's some other things going on.
Beautiful house for a teacher's salary, by the way.
Yeah. Like, that's kind of an unrealistic part of like, yeah, we're going to go move across country for a teaching job. It's like, I guess you could.
I think it even says that she has a teaching job already, because when she gets to the new job, they're like, oh, we're so grateful that you would leave like this big school to come to our tiny school. Like, so.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I guess they're not moving across country. It sounds like they're moving across state.
I think they said a couple
It's kind
hours.
of implied that it's upstate New York and they're leaving New York. But yeah, I mean that for a one income teacher salary, that house is way too big. You know,
maybe his
for
EPs
them.
do really well.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe their parents are rich. Maybe that's like the answer. If you're a failed performing musician and you still have hope that you're going to make it, it's most likely like you've probably got rich parents and that's how it's working out for you.
I could tell you the total amount of money that I've made off of my music. I've put out 3 albums in my life and 1 EP. And I think streaming sales, I've made about $10. And from shows, I've made maybe 50.
Nice.
So
Yeah. I
not
think
quite
I've made-
a full income.
I think I made, I don't know, it's probably $20 to $50 off
Yeah.
of like a performance before. Just like
Yeah.
someone called me to be a ringer as a tenor for some choral gig. So
Yeah, it's not very lucrative.
no. The other things that are alluded to is that there's some sexual problems. Dave Franco doesn't want to have sex with Alison Brie, which is probably the most unbelievable part about this movie, to be honest. Like, you would pull through, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you just
Yeah.
make it happen?
Well, I'm wondering what's going on in his mind, because usually when guys are like stressed out, have no hope for the future, and are compromising everything, the one thing that they're looking forward to is having sex.
Right. I mean, if you're in a relationship long enough, not to undersell it, like, I've been not in the mood before. I've turned down my wife.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Once or twice. Like, it happens. But for it sounds like this is like a long stretch, and it's like, I mean, at least throw her, a hand job, or, go down on her or something. I mean, just be nice,
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because like as a teenager, I was like, I couldn't imagine like if I was married, like every night I would be so excited to like, but then it's like you get married and after a couple of years, you're like, man, I'm so tired tonight. I'm so freaking tired. I just want to go to bed.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing that you don't understand, when you're young, is like, yes, coming is great, but eventually it also just becomes emotional and physical work.
Mhm.
Like, I got to invest a lot of like actual energy into this.
Well, when I was young, the horniness would keep me up. I would be
Right.
awake at night because of the horniness. Now it's like I could sleep through the horniness for sure.
Right. Yeah. And when you're in your, 40s, mid 40s, like the horniness just isn't there as much.
Ugh.
To where it's just like, I guess, could take it or leave it. And so there's the sex problems, and then there's also scary bed people. That they,
I don't think I understood that. Was that his mom?
Yeah,
his
that
mom.
was his parents, which is also very weird seeing in your bed. Yeah, that whole plot point seems like abandoned and a complete non sequitur. It's like
Super abandoned. Well, it seemed like it was trying to do exactly what both Hereditary and Midsummer does, where it's like you have these like horrible events happen, and they like that theme like is played out throughout the movie. But instead, this movie just had something super horrible happen, and then you never hear about it again.
And it's kind of confusing, like what it actually is. So, like, what I gather is that he found his mom in bed next to his dead father, and his father has been like dead for a while and decaying or something like that. But it's not clear whether that was like when that happened, or like, is it recent?
I think he was a kid. I don't know why I think that though, actually.
Yeah, I don't. But how would you not know that your dad was dead and decaying for several
Well, this is the
days
story
or
that he
whatever?
tells, and this is why I think it's a kid, because he talks about being a kid, and his dad keeps coming into his room, and he's like, what is that smell in here? We have to figure it out. And he eventually finds a dead rat in the ceiling. And by the way, happened to me before.
Are you serious?
On my mission, we were like, oh my gosh, every time we walk past this one wall, it just smells so horrible. There's a dead squirrel in there. So, but
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
had like a dead bird or rat or something in the walls or the ceiling before.
What a stupid thing for an animal to do. Imagine you were dying and you're like, I need to go to like a dark, cramped cave and shove my body into the rock so far that no one can get me out.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what their thought process is.
Well, that's what a lot of cave divers do, you know.
It's true.
What's it called? The putty cave?
The nutty putty.
The nutty putty cave.
Yeah, the guy that died like this, dude.
Yeah.
That's so brutal.
I see those TikToks of like cave divers, and they're just like literally just like shoving themselves through this, like you're just getting caked inside of the earth.
Mhm.
And like the comments are always like completely optional, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, there's no
Like,
reason you
You're borderline
have to
drowning
do
because
this.
there's 4 inches of water at the bottom of you
yeah.
and your head is touching the top and then spiders are raining down on you.
yeah.
It's not my
Yeah, so-
go-to hobby.
So he explained about his dad finding the rat, and then it transitions into him finding his dad dead, with his mom apparently like losing her mind at the same time.
Yeah, so it relates the story of the rat to his dad dying by like he like smells the same smell, but it's coming from his parents' room, and he opens the door and his dad has obviously been dead for like weeks.
Yeah. So that's like the part that makes me confused, because like if he's a kid, he would know that. Like he would know, like, where's dad?
I mean, maybe his parents are like neglectful. Maybe like doesn't see them. I mean, maybe his mom was in there with the body for a week or two.
I mean,
never came out, and like that was normal for him.
I think the thing that makes me think it was recent is like I feel like there was something in the script that attached the sexual problems with recent trauma, like with what just recently happened. So,
and you know what? That would make more sense why she was able to hide the body. So maybe it was recent. But if that's the case, why do they never talk about it? Because like, wouldn't you be like, instead of being like, why are you acting so weird? Wouldn't you be like, is this because you found your dead dad and your mom was like hanging out with him in bed? Is that why you're acting like this?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it kind of alludes to that a little bit, but like the most that they use it for is to have her be kind of a bitch to him, be like, oh, I don't want to be like your mom, like living with a dead corpse. It's like, okay, that's a
pretty mean,
strange low blow for no reason. Like that comes out of the blue in terms of the tone of the relationship. Yeah, so this is all, we skipped over the part where they move in and he like smells something and he immediately triangulates it to a light fixture. And I'm like, there's no fucking way he would find it in a light fixture. But then it's explained that like this happened to him before with his dad. So that I was like, okay, well, I guess they explain that. Cause like, if you've had this happen to you before, you're being driven insane. Cause you're like trying to be a hound and you realize how terrible your sense of smell is, like in terms of like triangulating where something is.
Yeah, it takes forever to find what the problem is when this happens to you.
Yeah. And sometimes it just doesn't smell and sometimes it does, you know.
The sun rises and bakes it and then it smells really bad, and the nighttime you're like, I guess it's better, I don't know.
Yeah. So he finds in this ceiling fixture a rat king, which is kind of the only place I've seen depictions of rat kings are in like horror movies, basically.
Is that what you call a bunch of rats like tied together?
Yeah, it's when a bunch of rats get their tails tied together, and it's called a rat king.
Is that something that happens in nature? Like they do that?
Yeah.
But why?
You've never heard of a rat king?
No. Why do they do that?
Just there's too many rats.
There's so many of them that they can't help but get tangled.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So you got to imagine like they're all like, I mean, a lot of these are, you know,
Actual king mouse
depictions, but like something that would actually look real would be like something like this, where it's like, okay, this is like a million rats shoved into a compartment and climbing over each other for such an amount of time that a clump of them
Oh, that's
gets
nasty.
connected. So yeah, it's not like the pretty ring like this, like, oh yeah, we tied a square knot with our tails. It's literally like, this is a pile. And there was nowhere to go, and they basically suffocated. Anyways, stronger together.
Apes together strong.
So they find that, and then like it seems like they're okay. They go on a hike. I can't remember what the like context of the hike is, other than just
Well,
an activity.
he rejects her at night because she wants to have sex, and he says no, and he's like, "But I'll go on the hike with you that you wanted to do tomorrow."
Right. Oh,
that makes it
great.
better.
Thanks. Great. Yeah. So they go on a hike. They get kind of lost, but then they find this way that's marked with bells. For some reason, they never mention the bells specifically. They just say it's a marked path, which feels like it should have been mentioned. Like, hey, what are these bells?
Mm-hmm.
But they get led down this path, and then they fall into the hole.
Did you
where
think
the
that
dogs
they were
fell.
like surprisingly cool about falling into this hole?
A little bit, but I think like part of it is the fact that they're already completely soaked from the rain. That when you fall into a puddle and you're already soaked, it's like, all right, well, I guess this shit is happening.
Well, I feel like if I were to fall into that hole, I would immediately like have so much like claustrophobia and be like, I'm never getting out of here.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah, they don't really try to find a path out of it immediately, or like try to see if they can climb out. Like, and then later after they spend the night, they're just like, okay, I guess we'll just climb up this way. And it's like basically a ladder in the,
I guess you could say like there was too much water coming down and like they wouldn't have been able to climb up.
Yeah. Maybe there was a scene cut or something around that, but yeah, they fall down there. Oh yeah, we skipped over my favorite part, which is he takes out his phone because they're lost and they keep going around in circles around these bells, and he like takes out his phone and he's like, okay, that way's north. They're like, okay, so like, I don't know. I mean, it's north. Like, that's exactly what I would do if I had a compass.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Which way did we come from? Who knows?
You ever know people who just know their cardinal directions all the time? They're like, oh yeah, my house faces west towards this place, and if you go east, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
My brain doesn't work that way.
David is like that, and he's ridiculed me before. Just like, you don't know which way is north? It's like, I mean, I can figure it out. It's like, I know which way the sun sets. I know which way like I-5 goes. And so I can kind of like in my head go around. But for me, like, I have to picture how many times I turn, you know, to get towards a certain direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when I get directions, like it's usually like, turn here, turn at this store, you know, turn at this like landmark. It's not like, I don't know any street names. I don't know like directions.
I think giving directions is a dead art, and it should stay dead because no one needs that anymore. And I don't know why people are still all the time trying to give me directions, because I'm just going to look it up on my phone. If you start giving me directions, I'm going to zone out and be like, but I'm not listening. The address? Yeah. And I'm just going to Google it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just funny to me how people are still giving directions.
Yeah, I still have to tell my mom, just give me the address. Just what's, and she's like, and it's shocking how many times she just doesn't know the address. She's like, well, I know how to get there. I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't do me any good. Anyway, so they fall down in this hole. It's very H.R. Geiger-y. Like there's like a bunch of tree roots that converge into this mysterious pond. And they kind of focus on a large bell at the top of the hole, which is later revealed to be like a church bell. I guess like there was a church that collapsed into this cave, and you see, some of the pews and stuff sticking out of the walls. And so they kind of camp in there. They make a fire. They drink some of the water because they're out of water. And that's where it all goes wrong. This reminds me a lot of, like, it's almost stolen from The Empty Man. Have you seen The Empty Man?
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good movie. I watched that this last year. I'm like, holy cow, this is actually really good. Like,
I don't remember being a huge fan of it.
It was a really like ambitious kind of cosmic horror-y cult thing that I thought was done really well, like surprisingly well. But it's basically the plot of The Empty Man, which is this cult exists and they're using some kind of magical thing or place or symbol to trap someone or people for their own purposes. And that's exactly what happens with Millie and Tim, is that they've somehow been targeted.
Were they targeted?
Well, I guess they fall victims. I mean, I guess they're not targeted exactly, but their neighbor, the fellow teacher, was a part of this cult, and he knows it exists. And it sounds like, once it starts happening, he's like trying to usher them through, because it seems like there's some motivation for merging more and more people together.
I think he has good motivations, in the sense that I don't think that it's for his gain. I think that he seems to truly believe that it's better when people merge.
Right.
But could you ever imagine a scenario where you would drink standing water?
No, and especially if I have fire.
Yeah.
Like, you could probably still boil it in that plastic bottle. Like,
maybe. But also, if you're thirsty and you've been there one day, like, be thirsty.
Right.
You're going to get so much bacteria and parasites if you drink from a standing pool of water.
Yeah, I love that he drinks and he's like, oh, it's okay. It's like, how would you know? How would you know that? Like, oh, no,
it tastes like water.
I don't taste any bacteria in this.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, it's a highly questionable activity. So yeah, and then the rest of the movie, they start sticking together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's it.
I don't know.
Well, they wake up and their arms are stuck together, their legs are stuck together, and they rip them apart, and it's like, I guess that's some kind of algae or something, or mildew.
I do like the line where he's like trying to explain what's happening, and she's like, I thought you said that was mildew. And he's like, what do I know about mildew?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the other part that's missing in this, is like the lack of incredulity about the situation of like, it's very, very movie tropish of like, okay, our legs got stuck together. That's weird. That hurt when we separated it. And then it's like, huh. Hey, you ate like about a metric ton of my hair in the middle of the night. Huh.
Yeah, the
weird.
whole pony
okay.
down the.
Let's moving on. Like, wait, we're not going to talk about this. We're not going to like examine this or
Well,
I'm
even
like,
when
every time
she
it
starts
happens-
floating through the air and banging her body on the glass to get to him, and then after she's like, well, I must have been like sleepwalking or something, and he's like,
yeah.
it's just it's a
It
silly
goes back to the well one like 3 too many times of just like, weird. Okay, well, anyways, moving on. It's like, no, you had to rip your dick out of your out of her vagina, and you were both bleeding because of it. It's like, are we not going to talk about this as being extremely weird?
I don't know if what's her name, Brie. I mean, that's a real name, right?
Alison Brie, yeah.
Alison Brie. I don't. Maybe her character just needed more sex education because he's like, I was literally stuck inside of you, and she's like, well, we hadn't done it in a while, so okay.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's like, if there was lubrication enough for insertion, like, how could you not get out of it unless she was like just clamping down, I don't know.
Yeah, well, that scene,
she's been doing Kegel exercises for the last decade.
We should probably touch on that scene because that scene is wild. We've talked on the show about masturbation at work and how I think that is extremely, you're towing the line of you might get fired, buddy, but having actual sex at a school
in the boys' bathroom,
you're going to be you're going to be a sex offender for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And fired.
Yeah. Well, it goes to show you, like, bad choices happen when you're really horny. Like, if you don't have sex with your wife for weeks and then you show up, she's going to make some bad decisions.
And she totally blames him afterwards, which is like, I don't know. It takes 2 to tango, I think. That was pretty consensual, I think.
Yeah. And her rationalization of it is like, oh, you don't have sex with me for weeks and then you come super hard on me. It's like, yeah, but you should probably also be a professional, when you're around kids.
Yeah.
Or not drag them into the boys' bathroom. Maybe like going to the employee's bathroom or going to your classroom and lock the door.
Or here's a crazy thought. Say you're sick and leave work, because work, here's the best thing about work. They can't keep you if you say you're sick.
Yeah.
If you go in and you say, hey, I feel like I'm going to throw up, I need to go home, they're going to send you away immediately. No questions asked.
I feel like I'm going to have to suck a dick. I need to go home. Yeah, and if anything that the news or personal experience has taught me, like, there's plenty of places in the public school to have sex, like, and not be caught. You
think?
It's possible. There's nooks and crannies.
Where would your ideal sex in a school spot be?
The ideal? Well, I don't know if there's an ideal, but I mean, I can tell you where I would go. Like, thinking about my high school experience, like, the choir room had like a storage room in the back, no windows, plenty of space, one door. Also in the choir room, there was just a room off. Well, there was the director's office, and then there's also a room off to the side with an actual couch in it, which is like just asking for trouble. But yeah, there's lots of little rooms off to the side of, like, band, the stage, little back offices. Like, if you want to have sex in a public school, you can find a place to have sex in secret. Until that
this is funny that
kid starts blabbing about, having sex with a teacher. It's like, well, he's got to ruin it for everyone else.
He's a victim, Bryce.
It's true. We can all.
This is a funny conversation for you and I to have because I have very I doubt that either of us have had sex in a crazier place than the bedroom or
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. It's like, what's the craziest place you've had sex?
the living room.
My parents' house? And I think anytime we tried to do something in a wild place, it was like, well, this doesn't work very well. Like, I think I tried to, I don't know, should I say that?
You don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to get a little handsy in the movie theater once.
Ooh.
It's not easy, you know. I'm sorry. It's like the angles, and you know, it's just not. It's not very pleasant compared to like being able to stretch out and.
I think the point is that it's supposed to be a little exciting because you might get caught, right? Is that?
Yeah, that's the whole point. But yeah, it's usually it's just more problem than it's worth. You're completely right though. We're pretty straight laced. I bet Sydney's got some crazy stories.
We'll have to
Sydney's
ask.
like, I mean, am I crazy in saying that and having an assumption?
Half of the stories Sydney says, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're a victim. That was abuse.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Sydney has some first person stories about being in the school, having sex in the places that we just discussed.
Well, so let's get to the end here because there's really not that much to talk about. So it turns out that the other teacher who's a part of the cult actually did get fused together with his husband, and they are one person now, not like a grotesque monster, but just one person, two souls in the body. And that's, I guess, the end goal. That's the desired outcome versus the couple that got lost in the beginning. They fought it too much, and then they became this like 4-armed, 2-headed monster. So they realize that, again, and this is a part where I'm kind of like, yeah, it's kind of a boring movie because they kind of notice this and they're like, well, I guess there's nothing we can do. And then they merge, and that's the end.
Yeah. I guess that is the one like silver lining on this movie is you do get to see Alison Brie's tits in the end, which is
that's
important.
True. Well, you also see Dick Root,
and you see Dick Root. It's not actual Dick Root though. In the trivia it says that the director and his partner actually worked in a sex toys company, and so that was a donated.
It looked pretty real.
Toy. Yeah. Well, the special effects person put some pubes on it to make it extra real, but yeah, it was a realistic looking Dick Root. But yeah, I love the fact that they use the Spice Girls to become one as the thing. It's kind of unearned. Like it was like, man, I wish we could have had a movie preceding that felt like this moment, you know, like the funny moment of the, you know, two become one, but, and then they merge, and then Alison Brie and Dave Franco become, Dallison Branco.
Alison Branco. And I thought, okay, so when they're merging, this is when we get to see the full transformation. I thought it looked not very good. It looked, I mean, when they're doing little things and like they're starting to stick together, it looked really creepy. But once they start merging together, it just didn't look like the special effects were all the way there for me. And then they merge into this like AI monster. Like what they have, like their faces are like kind of, you know what I'm talking about? What do you think they did there?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think they went out of order with like the merges. Like they should have done the arm stuff, before the final merger, the previous thing should have been them having sex. You know, it should have been them like previous to that, just realizing like, hey, this is dangerous. Let's not do this. And then circumstances happen. They get drunk or something, then they have sex, and then they wake up and they're like genitals are fused together. You know, and like, and that would have been a fun situation. You know, like that would have been the peak, because like the peak instead was they got their arms really stuck together and had to use the Sawzall to cut them apart. And it's like, even in the trailer, it made it sound like they're going to cut off Dave Franco's dick in the trailer because they're fused together. It's like, they should have had a situation like that where it's like, we're fucked. Like, what are we going to do? And then figure out like after the fact, like, what are we going to do now that we're like horribly mutilated? And then just be like, all right, well, I guess we'll just give in to this and merge. That would have made more sense, but they kind of go out of order in terms of stakes of merger.
I also think the trailer tries to make it seem like, okay, so their arms are merged, and the trailer tries to make it seem like they're just cutting straight through the middle. You know what I mean? Like to like an amputation type thing to separate, but in the movie, really, it's just kind of their skin that they're cutting through. It doesn't even look that bad. I mean, obviously it would hurt, but it's not the same as like cutting off your arm. Yeah.
So anyways, they finally merge, and then Millie's parents come over for lunch, and she appears at the door. She goes, "Hi." Which is like,
I forgot that was her parents. I thought that was just like new neighbors or something.
I don't know what the deal with her parents was. Like, did they look super weird to you? Like,
they looked like regular oldish people.
Did they? I felt like they were like, there was some kind of makeup, or they were trying to do something and I didn't understand. Maybe they're just, I was just trained to like expect just super weird looking people, but because it looked like people that were made up to look older. And so I couldn't tell, like, I was wondering if it was Alison Brie and Dave Franco made up to look old, or maybe some kind of
maybe
merger of their parents or something. I don't know. I felt like there was something weird going on with that. And if it's just two normal old people, I apologize for thinking that you're weird looking. But yeah, it was kind of, I mean, it's just like, and then it ends. Like, okay, we're one person now. Okay.
Yeah. This is why the movie got a mid score, because it's like, it is good in parts, but it's like, it ends and you're just like, I guess it's over. Like, I didn't really get anything from it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you're like thinking of ways to make it better. Again, like, it'd be better if one of them wins out. If when they come to the door, it's just Alison Brie with like a different eye color or something to symbolize like she's the dominant one,
and he fully lost his
he completely loses his identity. You know?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Or, you know, vice versa, where it's like, oh yeah, like it's the end is like, no, they're just one person now. It's just whatever. So I don't know.
So would you fuse with your wife?
Would I fuse with my wife?
Let's say in this scenario, it's not a horror concept. This is like a thing that can happen.
No, because it's better to have two parents taking care of the kids. You can like offload some of the responsibility to the other person.
That's true. Oh, and you could only make one income.
Can only make one income. Yeah. No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't opt in.
I think I'd be down.
Yeah.
I'd be down to merge, because then it's like any misunderstandings, any like communication problems immediately resolve themselves. You know what I mean? Because then it's just it's you, but it's them.
Well, that negates the fact that there can be an internal conflict, you know? You're never internally conflicted.
No, that's fair, but you can fix those things. I mean, you can fix regular relationship problems too, I guess. There's no point, yeah.
Well, anyways, who would like this movie?
I think lots of people would like it. There's, it's a fun date night movie. If it's a decent horror movie. So I feel like we throw a lot of shade on once we decide that we're not going to give it an amazing score, we spend a lot of the episode throwing shade on it. Mm-hmm. But it's fine. Like, if you want to go see it, go see it. It could be fun.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's just not terribly good either, you know? So whatever. All right. So let's move on to our game, which I'm calling, what did I call it? Together or Not Together. Okay. So in this game, we are going, oh no, delete.
Let me make you a little bigger so I can see the whole thing. All right, there we go.
Okay, so in this game, I'm going to show you a famous couple and a movie that they star in, and you have to tell me whether they were married during filming. Okay.
Are all of these people who got married at some point?
They're all famous couples.
So yes, they either married or together.
Right. But specifically for this game, it has to be married. They're not just dating. They're not just an item. They're actually married.
Okay, now you're making me mad because I thought this was going to be like two famous actors. Like, are they married or are they not? And then I would just
Exactly.
No, but now you're just saying like, here's a couple. Were they legally bound together during the time of filming? That makes it a million times harder.
Maybe. We'll see. First up, John Krasinski and Emily Blunt in A Quiet Place.
Okay, so just to make sure, they are actually a couple in real life.
Yes.
Yes, I will say they were married during A Quiet Place.
They were married during filming. Next, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie in Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh, okay. I feel like you're gonna trick me because this is a famous power couple, although they're not together anymore. But I'm gonna say they weren't married at this time.
They were not.
Ooh.
But this movie is the reason why Brad Pitt left Jennifer Aniston to go with Angelina Jolie, because they had an affair on this movie. Allegedly. All right, next up, Will Arnett and Amy Poehler in Blades of Glory.
I just love them both so much.
Yeah.
They're both so funny. Man, I didn't even know they were a couple. I'm going to say not married.
They were married.
Oh.
At the time. They are not married now.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a sad one. Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman in Far and Away.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so and they've had a pretty rocky breakup. Supposedly. Right?
Supposedly.
Man, they look so young in this too.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to say not married.
They were married in Far and Away. They're even married in Days of Thunder. Yeah, it wasn't until 2000s that they got divorced. But yeah, they were married for a while. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell in Overboard.
I don't know either of these people.
You don't know Kurt Russell?
No. Who's Kurt Russell? What is he in?
You know, The Thing. Big Trouble in Little China.
No, okay. Now I put the face. Now I'm putting it together. Okay. Yeah. Not married.
Correct. They have been a couple for decades, but they've never gotten married. They're still not married.
Interesting.
They're still together, but still not married. And who's their daughter? The one, Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson?
Yeah, is their daughter. Okay, topical. The original I Know What You Did Last Summer was Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar married. I guess this isn't Sarah Michelle Gellar, but that's Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah. I do love this couple because they starred in this live action Scooby-Doo's together and they were phenomenal in those movies. And I believe that they're still together. But this was a while ago. I don't know if they were married at this point. This could have been when they met. So I'm going to say not married.
Correct. They met on the set of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Good job. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. This is the final one. And Green Lantern.
And now they have like 3 kids together. So they've been together a while.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say they were married.
You're correct. I think you won this game.
All right.
You got
Man, that Green Lantern mask looks so bad.
People dog on this movie. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Just the suit looks off. It looks like they dragged a picture over him.
Yeah, they say that, but it's like, I don't know. It looks fine to me. I don't see what the big problem is. Because it's not supposed to be like a physical suit. Isn't it like a projection of the ring?
Like a light suit.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. People dog on it. I'm like, seems okay to me. Okay, that's the game.
All right, finally a game that I did okay on.
Yeah, you did pretty good on that one. You got Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. I was impressed with that one. That was the trick one. That one and Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Those are tricks, and you passed the test.
All right.
All right, so thanks for joining us on this episode. Check out our Patreon. Check out our socials. Follow us. Share with a friend. Suck our dicks. Call 682-253-4468. And see you on the flippity floppity. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good day, sir. Good day, sir. You lose. You get nothing.
Is that Franco?
Yes, it is.
I just had to stroll through the scraggly woods.
He had no face.
Horror!
Wow, that didn't sound good.